Hello, week 5 already. It's the final section of the blanket this week. Next week I will show you how to add faces to the gingerbread people and add the border and other finishing off details. But this week we have the last section of the main body of the blanket. So I'm going to talk you through this week's rows. So we start with rows 128, 129 and 130, and these are a candy cane stripe. And row 128 starts with the right side facing you, so that's bobbles towards you. And when you finish row 130, so the last row of the candy cane stripe, fasten off but do not turn your work. You need to keep the right side, so that's bobbles facing out, towards you. And we're going to begin the snowflake chart on the right side, so bobbles facing towards you. This is the only time in the whole pattern that you do not turn at the end of the row. For every other row in the pattern, you always carry on from the previous row and turn when you get to the end. But for this row, we aren't going to turn. So, rows 131 to 155 of the pattern are the snowflake chart. So work your snowflake chart again in exactly the same way as you did in week 2. There's a video to help you with this. That was the week 2 video, and I will link that below so it's easy for you to find. So exactly the same. And after the chart, all the rows are backwards and forwards exactly as before. But now, because we didn't turn at the first row of the chart, the odd rows are now the front and the even rows are the back. But as long as you just follow the pattern and always start a new row where the previous one ends, you will always be in the right place on the blanket. So your bobbles that you're going to do later in this section will be on the right side. You don't need to change ends again, just follow the pattern as it's written. So rows 156, 157 and 158 are a candy cane stripe. And then 159 is UK treble crochet, US double crochet in green. And then we have rows 160 and 161 in cream. And then 4 rows of green. And 166 is a bobble row, and remember that the odd and even row numbers have switched round now. So just carry on from the previous row, don't need to change ends. And remember, you are working your bobbles on the back, but they pop out naturally on the front. And then finally, we have 4 more rows of green, which takes you to the end of the blanket. So now is a really good time to get all of your ends sewn in. And next week I will give you some tips for straightening out any wonky edges. So don't worry if the edges of your blanket aren't completely straight. We can sort that out. And then I'll show you how to add the border and other finishing details. See you next week.